was somebody from another. It was they stabbed somebody, a Russian, and they thought he was. I can't remember what he was supposed to be. That somebody got stabbed. But in general, the violence in England, the ones who actually get stabbed and killed are the English fans. Is this not true, or have I missed something?
No, I don't think you've missed anything. What's important is the weight that you give to various aspects of the things that you identify and notice correctly. That's really all that opinions are. We all give different weight to different things that we notice, and then one person says one thing about something and one person says another thing about something, even though they've got the same amount of information to go on. 08700 40 50 60 is the telephone number, or you can email the show by going to talksport.net. Got some cracking emails, and I'll get to them in just a tick.
Pre-match build-up and post-match commentary anywhere in Europe.
Only on 1089 and 10:53 a.m. Think Euro 2000 Talksport.
Anyway, the main thing is, how's Ash?
That's
the main thing.
That is the main thing. And I'm all right. You know, I had a very relaxing, hot weekend in the sun.
Very nice.
Lying
Very
down.
hot today.
Yeah, I had to lie down.
Did you outside or?
Outside. I mean, as soon as I got up, before I even had a chance to, rub the sleep out my eyes, I was just out on there, lying down again in the sun. In a different environment.
Were you using any sunblock or anything? Because you're not very brown.
No, I don't.
You don't tan?
I don't use sunblock.
You don't?
Well, not at the moment, no.
No?
No, because...
but you're neither red nor brown?
No.
Not really?
Well, I'm darker than I was, but I've been on holiday and that I don't need it at the moment, the sunblock.
No.
You know, I'm just... Cool. I'm pretty cool. But I did use a little bit of...
I like the smell of it.
Special suntan lotion.
Because my wife sat out the front at lunchtime today, and she got me doing some jobs outside, but she bought some trellis. I hate trellis. Trellis is the most stupid stuff ever.
I thought it was a wooden stand.
That's what it is, trellis. It's rough wood, creosoted,
yeah,
and made sort of in a concertina fashion. And she had me sticking that up on the front of the house.
Why?
But it was quite nice because she helped me. Why? Because she wants to train...
what does it do, this trellis?
She wants to train plants up it. Plants grow up trellis.
How do you train plants, man?
Well, you don't just point them towards the sky and they go up there, but then they need something to hang on to. That's why you buy trellis. It's vastly overpriced.
I didn't know that.
So she was helping me, but I was standing on a chair and she was supporting me whilst I was drilling the front of the house. But she smelt of suntan oil, and that was very sexy. Nothing happened. It can't do, and there's children in and out the house.
No.
You can't go up to the bedroom.
It can sting as well.
What?
Suntan lotion.
Where?
Orifices.
Oh, dear.
Oh, yeah. It's quite well known.
It also stains the sheets.
Yeah, it's for external use only.
You have to have a shower before you... And then,
exactly.
By the time you've had a shower, you don't feel quite so... urgent any longer.
Mm-hmm.
I've had an email from somebody saying, why don't we read our emails live and at random?
Because then you'd end up with ones with nothing on, or...
Well, some of them are rubbish, actually. Yeah. So, not many, but some of them are rubbish, and so... for example, Simon, I'm a gay young man, and I would like you to make love to me anyway.
Well, that's a good point, that one.
That's a very good
That's not a bad one, that's a very good one.
Do you know, I've never had a gay relationship or a gay experience, and I'm just wondering whether... No. Oh. I'm just wondering whether, if I'm going to go to my grave having had a completely fulfilled life, should I have a gay experience just once, just so that I've had one? Well, it's a maybe, isn't it? It's not a yes or a no. It is a maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you mean by a gay experience?
Well, it's just a gay experience.
Dance with a man?
No, I've danced with a man. I've been kissed on the lips twice by a man.
I mean, you know what they get up to. Would you like that, then?
I don't think I probably would, but you don't know until you've tried it. It's the same with horseradish sauce.
You do know that, that you might not... You would do know.
Well, I think the worry would be that if you found it quite good fun, really, and then you thought to yourself, oh, blimey.
There might be an aspect, of course, that you never thought of.
Exactly. So is it worth risking it? Would you risk it?
No. because I know my bread is firmly buttered on the one side.
Yeah.
Thickly buttered.
I know, but it's something that you could do that would be different, and it would
I'm not
increase your
homophobic or
portfolio. I'm
nothing.
not. No, of course you're not. You're very.
If it makes you happy, I'll tell everyone I'm gay.
It's tricky, isn't it? If someone says, "Are you gay?" and you go, "No," in a sense, you're being homophobic, as if to
Exactly.
say, "How dare you?" But of course, you're not allowed to say "How dare you," so you have to go.
Exactly.
No, as it happens, I'm heterosexual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of accusations against me. And it used to bother me, and now I just think it's mainly because of James Whale telling everyone that I'm gay.
Does he say that?
Yeah.
I haven't heard him say that.
For the last 4 or 5 years. Or
I've obviously been.
If you throw enough mud, it sticks.
Yeah.
But I don't care, man.
No.
Because it's very cool to
I'll
be,
tell you what there is a lot of nowadays
Yeah.
for men. It's very sexy for men to be JGE.
What's that, man?
Ah. You see, you're JGE. I'm JGE.
Yeah.
JGE. You know the Naked Chef, Jamie, what's his name?
Yeah, I know.
He's JGE.
He's never naked.
No, he's not. I don't want.
don't
that's
get
a
it.
thought. I don't want the image of him naked anyway. I don't want to know. I hate naked men.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no.
JGE is just gay enough. Just gay enough means that if you saw a woman that you know and she'd had her hair cut, you'd say to her, "I like your haircut."
Yeah.
And I think the way they've cut it, layered like that at the sides, is really nice with the shape of your face. A JGE man could say that.
Yeah.
And you could say that, couldn't
Yeah.
you? Because you.
Yeah, yeah.
A JGE man would know how
I'm
to.
not saying that I can't talk like a woman,
No,
but
yeah. A JGE man would know how to roast vegetables.
exactly. I mean, I pride myself in being able to cook and do woman's things if need be. Like, you know, I can sew on buttons and hoover. If there isn't a woman around, I can cope. Fine.
Exactly. There isn't a woman around to hoover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
cool.
you know, I can do everything a woman can, mostly.
Nikki Hill has emailed, Tommy, please tell me, are you the son of Salamander? I don't know what that means.
No.
I've no idea. Tommy, why don't you read your emails out at random without screening them, just like you do your calls? That's from Brett in London. Chris from London, again, has emailed. I'll have to cut this down, Chris, it's a bit long. Just thought I'd make a comment on something regarding the hooliganism from fans. My comments are on Beckham. I think he's actually slightly overrated. His crossing and his free kicks are his best ability. However, he doesn't really have any good skill, can't head, and he can only use one foot. Also, if he's meant to be good at free kicks, how come he has such a poor striking rate from them? Also, I was wondering how he can be compared to Rivaldo. How can he be rated second best in the world when there's the likes of Davids, Figo, Rui Costa and Totti, who are all midfielders? Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, keep up the great work on Talksport and so on and so forth. Chris, thank you for your email. Keep it down to one paragraph in future, and then I won't have to try and cut it down whilst I'm reading it, which is a difficult skill. Ian Davis from Yorkshire. Hi, Tommy. I'd like to comment on the point a gentleman made with regards to the football violence. You argued with his view that the thugs were not real football fans. Surely a real fan would not damage the already tarnished reputation of English football as well as our hosting chances with this thuggish behaviour. I love your show and I want to have your babies. Thank you for that. All I'm saying is that I think it would be wrong to believe that football hooligans are not well up on football. They are not from a separate walk of life. They are not people who know nothing about football, care nothing about football, and are simply along for a fight. That's part of the fun of it as far as they're concerned, the confrontation. But in all probability, they will know their football. They will be able to quote you chapter and verse on the English national side going back a long, long way. They will be able to tell you what sort of pies they serve up at the new camp and so on and so forth. They do know their football. But their problem is that they like a fight. 08700 40 50 60 is the number. You can email via talksport.net. Go to the button that says email the show. Let's take some more calls live and unscreened and at random, so we don't know who's going to be there. Line 5 we'll go to. You're live on Talksport. Hello, line 5.
Hello.
Hello.
You're the only civilized country in Western Europe at the moment that people feel they have to use water cannons to control you. That might be a problem.
Yeah, you're mad, you are. Go away.
Really?
Yep.
Well, that's what you have to do.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no other country.
Yeah, you're just a prejudiced little Scot.
No, I'm not.
And yeah, you are. And I've talked to you before, and I don't respect your views.
You're the only country.
I don't think you're bright. I
in the
don't think
whole
you're
of
intelligent. I don't think
civilized
you're perceptive. I don't think you're kind. I don't think you're a credit to your nation. I don't think you're a credit to your species. Quite frankly, I've
Thank you
talked to you
very
before.
much.
I know exactly who you are, and so do you. And you've got a problem. And I've told you to go and see a doctor before about it, and you obviously haven't.
Well, okay.
Okay.
But that doesn't... Whatever you
And I'm going to beg you to do something, and that is never to phone this show again.
Whatever you think...
Why do you keep phoning this show? Why do you keep phoning me with what is usually a rather acidic little tirade? Why do you do that? What do you get out of it? What do you get out of it? I'm asking you a question. What do you get out of it? Can you answer it?
Yeah, yes, I can, yeah, if you'll allow, yeah.
Well, I don't think you're going
your
to.
acidic little tirade is way off the mark. It's your country that has now been threatened to be thrown out of a European...
You see, you can't answer the question, can you? I've asked you a simple question. The reason I want you... No, the reason I want you never to phone again is because you can't have a conversation. I ask you a question, you don't even begin to answer it. You ask me a question, I'll show you how it works. Ask me a question.
Okay, why is it that England are now being threatened to be eliminated from the second biggest major soccer tournament in the world?
I'll answer the question. I'll answer the question. You listening?
I am.
Have you been listening from the start of the show?
I've been listening from the last time I asked the question. I thought you were going to answer the question.
I'm answering the question. I'm asking if you've been listening from the start of the show. That's not difficult, is it? Have you been listening from the start?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Right, well, the question's been answered. You've asked a question that's already been answered.
Jesus, right. So
You asked a question that's already been answered. Are you going to do I have to say it again? I'll say it again because obviously you're very slow on the uptake. Shall I say it again? Would you like to hear it?
Yes, but before I do hear it, could I just thank you for bringing me up to speed? And I really mean that. God, I actually feel honoured. But please carry on.
No,
Yes.
no, I've had enough of you again already. Terrible man. 08700 40 50 60 is the number. Another Scot. I just see things. Being Scottish, I understand Scots, and I know there are an awful lot of Scottish people who are embarrassed by the slightly distorted percentage of Scots who come to this switchboard when I'm on with their chips on their shoulders, and I know that my people are not like that, generally speaking. However, they throw down the gauntlet. The gauntlet is happily picked up. And one day, one of them will give me a run for my money. Well, of course not. What's sad is that they think they might. 08700 40 50 60 is the number. We'll have a quick word with line 3.
Hi.
Hello, line 3. Who's this?
Hi, my name's Shelley.
Hello, Shelley.
Hi, I'm calling from Doncaster. I'm just having a bet with my husband. It's nothing to do with football, so we'll change the subject.
Marvellous.
Did you used to do Wide Awake Club?
Yeah, I did that TV show.
Oh, excellent. It's just that we were on about... I remember we used to be on about making, like, the duvets and things, and used to do this thing called sheets, pillows and duvets. And that's how I learned to do it when I was a child. We just had a bet. He reckoned you did something called Saturday Showtime. I've never heard of it
Yeah,
before.
no, I did the Saturday show as well.
You did the Saturday show as well? Oh,
Yeah.
right. Well, that's basically all I found for you.
Cool. That's nice of you to ring.
No problem.
I hope you've won some money.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Cheers, Shelley.
Okay, bye.
Nice.
The
lady.
Saturday was that before Wide Awake?
Yes, it was, yes. The Saturday show was myself and Isla Sinclair. It was originally Big Daddy's Saturday show, but
I remember.
Big Daddy the wrestler dropped out with 2 weeks to go for reasons that were never explained, and they were all up in the bar trying to work out who the hell could present this load of old tosh, and I happened to be there drinking, and so they came across and asked me. I was only because I was the only presenter in the bar
Really?
at ITV.
That's good, isn't it?
And I did it for 2 years with Isla Sinclair, who's wonderful, mad as a fish.
Is she?
Well, in the nicest possible way.
Mad as a fish.
We used to joke that if she married Brian Ferry and got divorced and married Barry White, the pop star,
Yeah.
she'd be Isla White Ferry.
No, because she wouldn't take the name.
I think it's quite funny. Shall we cop hold of some news and then come rushing back?
Yes, I think that would be a very good idea.
Okay.
On 1089 and 1053 AM, Tommy Boyd on Talksport.
Splunk.
planted rice in the paddy fields of Thailand. He's seen the sunrise from the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro. He's meditated within the ancient walls of Machu Picchu. He's got a Renault Turbo Sport and a TVR. He's got a huge bank balance. He could go out with any woman in the country. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a close personal friend of his family. He's been invited to the Prime Minister's house for drinks. He's the closest thing on earth to the angel Gabriel. He's Tommy Boyd.
Chris Maitland has emailed, I'm English and happy to be so, but there were no Turks at Heysel, there were no Turks at Lansdowne Road when the missiles rained down on Irish. There were no Turks at Marseille in World Cup 1998. These thugs drag us through the SH*TE. We must stop this and lock them away. I'm in favour of warehousing rabid antisocial violent offenders. 08700 40 50 60. Michael McClure from Kettering says that Ladbrokes Online are offering 3-1 on Woods to win the British Open. It won't be there tomorrow. I don't think it's there now. I've just checked Blue Square and 9-4 already. 9-4. Never thought I'd live to see the day when a golfer would be going into the Open at 9-4. You know, 8s and 9s was pretty slim until Tiger Woods came along. Fantastic. He'll win it. I mean, you put your house on it, it'll win St Andrews. Ash, you found something in the paper. Was it this morning that caught your interest as I was coming through?
Yeah, I just thought I'd mention
it. Made the tea and coffee?
Because you being the father of two sons, it says... basically, it says that men's salaries rise by nearly 5% every time they have a child, with the fatherhood premium being far greater for a son than a daughter.
Is that so?
Yeah, I mean, they've basically said that men seem that they want more family security if they've got sons rather than daughters. It's better for the marriage.
Well, I wouldn't be able to comment on that. I do know that I put on 4 pounds in weight each son I had.
The authors believe that men like spending more time with their sons than with their daughters, and so put greater effort into their home life. Previous work has shown that the birth of a son relative to a daughter increases the likelihood that the marriage will survive by 7%.
7%?
Yeah.
Wonderful, isn't it, statistics? 7%.
Well, you know what else I found out in today's paper?
No.
That, you know, the common house sparrow, which used to be so common, but the magpie was blamed for its demise. Well, these couple of scientists are saying it's not the magpies, and they're studying why it is.
Good Lord.
So, don't kill the magpies.
No.
No, and that's all the news in today's paper.
That's everything, is it? There it is. There it is for you. Thank you for that.
Little little news. Oh, and there was trouble in the football, apparently.
Apparently in the football. Are you going to have children?
Yes.
Good.
I'm going to have...
You'll be a very good dad.
Yeah.
You'll be a fantastic dad.
Yeah, I'll be a quite old dad, but this will be all right.
I know. I always say to people who say to me, we're thinking of having children, what would you advise? I never tell people unless they ask. I always say, well, leave it. Yeah. Leave it, and then when you're absolutely certain that you're ready to have children, leave it for another year.
Yeah.
Because there's so much you've got to learn and get out of the way and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Because for 10 years, you don't get a lie in.
Yeah, but if you have them when you're like 60 or 50, then you probably do get a lie in, you see.
You know that lovely lie in you have with a woman on a Sunday morning where you wake up about 11:15 and go downstairs, there's Sunday papers, and come back upstairs, pot of tea, slice of toast, read the papers, have a little cuddle with newsprint on your fingers, you know? Yeah. And then get up and go straight to the pub. You never, ever get to do that again with children. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. It's a big sacrification.
It is a big sacrification. Somebody once said, wouldn't the world be a much more beautiful place if sparrows could sing? But they can't, can they? So they're actually not any use, sparrows. You wouldn't miss them.
Just look at that.
You wouldn't miss
them. I didn't miss them when I didn't know they were there anyway.
Tell you what I saw yesterday. My son saw it. We were driving along. We saw a ferret in the road. Fantastic.
Dangerous things.
I don't know. He was just up on his haunches, looking very alert, looking like a very small ginger otter.
Otters are making a comeback as well.
Fantastic.
They're making a big comeback.
Isn't the world a wonderful place?
It's beautiful.
Isn't it all technicolor and furry? Thank you, Ash. 08700 40 50 60. Let's take some more calls live at random. We'll go to line 3 and see who's there. Hello, line 3. Who's this?
All right, it's Wogs.
Welcome to Talksport, Wogs.
All right, Tommy.
Hi.
I'm calling for Greenock.
Okie doke.
Do you know what that is?
I'm a Dunoon man. What do you think?
You don't know? You've tried.
Well, to be honest, an Ellen.
An Ellen?
To be precise, an Ellen.
Honestly?
Have you been to an Ellen?
I've never been, but I've been to Dunoon.
Have you been down the Clyde in a steamer?
No, never. I've just been across. I got the ferry for Guruk to Dunoon before.
How many times?
Once. I was up in my mate's pub over there.
Did you see my cousin there?
I don't know.
I've got the two of them, Anne and Elsa. Which school did you go to?
Which school?
Yeah.
I'm actually in school in Greenock just now.
Are you?
Mm.
You haven't got a teacher there called Miss Edie?
No, I don't.
You sure about that?
Definitely. I go to Greenock High.
I just want you to know how long my tentacles reach.
Huh?
Yeah.
I never knew you were from Scotland.
Yes. Boyd. For goodness sake. What do you think? It's not Spanish, is it? It's not Spanish.
I know. It's just the other night you were kind of like, I don't know. Hey, so you were from Ellen, that is really close to where I'm. Anyway.
And Ellen's got 2 golf courses, 2 pubs, and about 4 houses. I've never been able to work out how it can sustain so much golf and so much drinking.
Yeah.
There's only 4 families live there.
Yeah, I know someone from Ellen, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I was really wanting to talk about punk rock.
Okay.
Just wondering what you thought of it.
I think it's fantastic.
It is brilliant.
I think it's the best form of music ever.
You honestly think that?
I do. That's why I think rock music died in 1981 when the punk music finally dried up.
Have you seen The Filth and the Fury yet?
No.
It's an excellent film. You've got to see it.
Okay.
Because I went to see the Stiff Little Fingers
Mm-hmm.
on St Patrick's Day at the Barrowlands in Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing. That's the first gig I've been to. It was absolutely brilliant, man. Yeah.
Yes, I just had a distracting email just come through. It's from the United States of America, although it doesn't say where, and it's signed DMX, and it says, "You look like Rod Hull." And that's really worrying because 2 things. One, you don't want to look like Rod Hull.
Yeah.
Although I think he died magnificently, dear Rod.
Yeah. But did he have Emu with him?
What? When he went up the ladder to try and fix the aerial for
I
an
know
England
this is really
game?
bad, but I imagined him falling off the roof with Emu under his arm.
You shouldn't laugh, but I've met Rod a few times. I got into trouble once because I introduced an episode of Rod Hull and Emu, which was called The Great Fakir, Fakir, and I introduced it incorrectly.
Oh dear.
Yes, exactly.
Did you see that football player?
No. Which one?
What was his name?
F-U-K-A-L.
Yeah.
It's spelled F-U-K-A-L.
How's it pronounced?
I'm not going to try and pronounce it on the radio.
Why? There's nothing wrong, it's his name. There is a couple of different pronunciations.
How have you heard it pronounced, Ash?
Foucault.
Yes.
But it could be.
Yes?
Well, it could be, couldn't it?
Well, I know. There's also a player
But they
there
won't say it that
But
way.
there's also a player there whose name is spelled Q-U-I-M.
Well, remember the German player, K-U-N-T...
That's pronounced Kunz.
Kunz.
No, you have to... Kunz.
In the Skinner and Badil video, remember they all had that on? I thought that was disgusting.
Anyway, this guy emails from America. He says, "You look like Rod Hull."
You do a bit, I must
Yeah,
say.
but how does an American know what Rod Hull looks like?
Well, he's an international superstar. What are you talking about? Rod Hull.
I don't know. Is
Like
he,
the John
is he
Wayne
known
of
in
Britain?
America? Do they know about Rod Hull in America? I know they know about Benny Hill.
But
Rod Hull?
He was quite big in his time, you know, all over the place.
Well, anyway.
Australia.
Anyway, what do you think about the money in football? Batistuta earns $340,000 a week. That's rubbish.
More worrying than looking at like Rod Hull, right? Is that Rod Hull looks like Camilla Parker Bowles.
I know.
So, do you?
Well, it puts a line between... it puts a line through Camilla Parker Bowles through to me.
Yeah. You're quite privileged.
I don't know if I want to look like Camilla Parker Bowles. What? Oi, Blake...
She's not that bad, is she, really?
Camilla Parker Bowles?
Yeah.
Well...
People say, but I think...
A lot of people say, well, you know, what was Charles doing? Having a relationship
Yes.
with a lady like Camilla Parker Bowles when he had Princess Di at home in Kensington. But I think Camilla Parker Bowles is extremely attractive. Am I strange?
And I bet Charles, the conversation, he preferred it with her, I bet.
I think she's a lovely
more probably on his sort of liking all that stuff.
Who would you prefer, caller from Greenock?
It's not Greenock.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If my mate heard you say that, he would be pretty annoyed.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. I don't really know. I've not really seen much of him.
No, well, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Whatever.
She's not that bad, what I have seen of her.
No, true enough.
Yeah.
So, punk rock. So, stupid question then, dull broadcaster type question. What was the best punk rock song ever?
In my view,
Yes.
maybe Anarchy in the UK by the Sex Pistols.
Do you know I like Rock Around the Clock by them?
I've never heard that. I've only heard the stuff on the famous album.
Rock Around the Clock was pretty good. Yeah, I thought so. And God Save the Queen as well.
I'm only 17, I don't really remember the stuff. All I've got is the stuff I've got on my dad's shelf.
Well, I was there, and it was great, man.
Yeah.
I was there as a child.
Did you like punk?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I was never into it because I was quite young, but, I used to see them walking around town with their funny hair.
It was the music, really, and it was the statement of it all I thought was fantastic. I like the Stranglers.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you say the statement. Why is there punks now? Because punk's been and done, and it's done a big thing in society. But it's done it now. Now it's sort of, it's against itself if people are liking it. Because it's establishment now.
Exactly.
So it's a bit of
gone soft.
Weird.
Thanks for your call, caller. Nice to talk to you. Talk to you again sometime. Yeah, well played. 08700 40 50 60. Talk Sport. We'll take another call live at random. It's line 4. Hello, line 4. Who's this?
Hi, it's Joe.
Hi, Joe.
If they're going to ban I'm from Scotland. If they're going to ban England, what are they going to do with Galatasaray? Hello?
Yeah.
If they ban England, what will they do with Galatasaray? They've not done that to them. They've killed folk. Can England supporters haven't done that bad?
Yeah, we have been kicking this one around a little bit. I think when you found out that you've done something wrong, I think it's a state of mind to immediately say, but we Jimmy over there was doing it as well, sir. You know, don't you? For that to be your first thought or your main thought.
No, I'm not near it. I don't know. No, I'm not near here tonight. Am I?
Yeah, you're on there now. Yeah. Well, you're listening to the show. We take calls live, unscreened.
Well, I'm a Celtic supporter, and I've been to Liverpool, Nottingham, Manchester, and now I supported England because I've been down in England, and I know that the English people that's not their nature. So why pick on England?
You think it's picking on England? That's not what you mean, is it?
Aye.
No, you don't mean that. You can't possibly mean that. For 25 or 30 years, a visit from an English football club or the English national team for any continental venue, anywhere, meant that in all probability they had to brace themselves in anticipation for an invasion of a certain number of people who were on the lookout for a confrontation.
No,
That's true, what I just said. You can't know that. That's true. That is true.
It only takes maybe 2 or 3 people to have a drink, and then the rest of the crowd will join in. But that's
true. But it was never 2 or 3 people, my friend. It was never 2 or 3 people. 2 or 3 people do not make a football fight.
That's not English people. English people are any time I've been to England, have been friendly to me.
Well, we all know that. Of course that's the case. But what is also the case, that's irrelevant, actually, if you don't mind me saying so. But what's important is what I said. What's pertinent to what we're talking about is what I said, which is that there has been a consistent element of danger for the homesteading people at venues for English club games on the continent and English national games on the continent. Now, is that a fact or not?
But you know,
is that a fact or not?
It's a fact.
Okay, it's a fact.
The first time that England actually beat Germany, they could get through it.
If that's a fact,
I think
if that consistent confrontation is a fact, then
I think Scotland, Wales, everybody should get behind England and back them.
Yeah, all right, this is random stuff. You're just coming out with random stuff now. Where do you want to dwell in this conversation, or shall we all play hopscotch? How about this one? Wasn't it warm today? Let's have a consistent conversation. I want to
going to
pick.
say that
I want to pick on the fact that you said that England are being picked on.
One question, right? Do you think that the English supporters are hooligans?
It's not a good question. Rephrase it. Make it a question I can answer, and I will
England, every game that England go to, they cause trouble.
You're on the move. Now you're on the move now. Shape it up a little bit further, and you got yourself a question that's good enough for me.
Why? Everybody causes trouble. I mean, according to.
No, you lost it now. You had a question there, and you moved on. You almost made it a good question, didn't you?
Well, if I had a good question, you phrase it better.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily better.
I'm saying, why pick on England when there's trouble? I mean, if you want to find trouble, you can find trouble.
When did the Portuguese cause a fight or were involved in a fight? When have ever any Portuguese people been involved in a fight?
Well, they're not going to fight. They won 3-2, didn't they?
I asked a question. Can you answer it?
Right, the one.
No, can you answer the question? No, can you answer the question? Look, friend, I didn't know, friend. Friend. All we've got is language. No, listen to me. Listen, please. This is no, please, no. No, look, we're not going anywhere. You've got to go. No, that was trash. This is trash. We've got to have conversations. This is talk sport. For God's sake, if we're going to talk about sport, let's talk about sport. I mean, let's not just kind of like chuck darts at the general wall on which the dartboard is hung. Let's get up to the hockey and pick out which double we're aiming at here. And that's all you got to do, and then we're on to something. God's sakes. 08700 40 50 60 is the number. And we'll take some emails as well in just a moment. The email address, if you go to our Talksport website, which is talksport.net, and click on the button that says email the show.
All the action from Euro 2000 is covered every morning from 6 here on Talk Sport. Essential on-location coverage from the England training camp in Spa. Alan Brazil's Euro 2000 breakfast. Keegan.
Who knows? We may even play Portugal again.
Hussein.
There's never any margin for that's why it's Test cricket. If it was easy, anyone could do it.
Henman.
It's disappointing to have this type of result. There's no reason for it and there's no excuse for it.
Massive names. Essential coverage. Total sport. Every morning throughout Euro 2000. Only on the nation's first sports radio station, Talk Sport.
Got the winner of the Internet Sports Quiz from Friday, closed at midnight on Sunday night, an hour and a bit ago, and it's Ed Hollinghurst, who lives in Bristol. So Ed, if you're listening, well done. And our folk will be getting on to you to arrange the delivery of a TalkSport prize pack. Forgive me, coffee went down the wrong way.
Coffee on the lung.
Coffee in the lungs, yes. Coffee in the lungs. I'll tell you what I read over the weekend, which was riveting. Have you ever read any Stephen King?
No.
No, nor have I. Well, I read a bit of it, one of his, the Tommy
Maybe
novels.
bits when I was younger.
He writes well, doesn't he? And it was him writing about what happened when he was nearly killed. You know, he was knocked down.
Yeah.
And his eye and ear, I should say, for dialogue was just as acute as he lay there drowning in his own blood, as when he's fully compos mentis, and he remembers some of the phrases that people said to him in the ambulance, and he remembers the ambulance guy saying to the ambulance driver, "Can we hammer it?" And he also remembers the look on the face of the man who ran him down, because he was walking on the pavement, and a guy who was driving along in a truck reached over into the back of the truck to stop his Rottweiler getting some of the meat out of the fridge in the back of his truck, and ran Stephen King down at 50 miles an hour, and then stopped and sat on a rock and waited for the ambulance to arrive. And Stephen King said he had this look on his face as if to say, doesn't stuff happen to people like you and me? Shocking. But a very interesting read. What made me think of that? Can't remember.
It affected him, didn't it? He couldn't write or something after.
He had a bit of a block.
Yeah.
His leg was so badly broken, he described it quite beautifully as being like a pebble full of stones.
Sounds good, man.
I know what it was, because you said to me about drowning in my own coffee.
Yeah.
And he said that he punctured a lung in the accident.
Yeah.
And it began to fill up with blood. And the one thing that saved his life was that he said to one of the ambulance attendants, I think I'm drowning. I feel as though I'm drowning. And that was when they realised that he'd punctured a lung and his lung was filling up with blood, so they got down his windpipe and
suck it out.
all that stuff. 08700 40 50 60. We'll go to line 1. You're live on Talksport. Hello, who's this? Ah. Now, I know this well. Who's this again, Ash? You'd know.
Phil Collins.
Thank you, yeah. Hounslow boy.
Oh, yes. Hounslow's finest.
He was in the same year as Freddie Mercury, and their schools were adjacent. So I've got this image of them both playing football for each other, for their schools. And
well, of course, Freddie Mercury was almost made it in the Arsenal squad when he was younger.
That's right. He was turned down originally, wasn't he, by the Palace?
Yeah, and he thought it was over.
Yeah.
And then it was in the end,
Yeah.
because he had a bad injury.
Because he did that thing, he wrote off for trials, which is what boys should do, write off for trials. And the Arsenal gave him a
trial.
And they played him at the back.
He was very good in the air.
Very, very, very dominating in the air. Very, very, very dominating in the air.
Intimidating.
He would have looked the part up against Martin Keown, probably with Freddie taking the first pop at the long balls.
And of course, Brian May in goal started off the Peter Shilton haircut. People think Peter Shilton was the first, but actually Brian May.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's how Freddie and Brian met.
That's how it happened, yeah. Yeah, the training ground. Let's go to line 2 and see who's there. Line 2, you're live on Talksport. Good evening.
Hello, Tommy.
Hi.
Hey, now, come on. Let's forget all this about... I've worked abroad, I've worked in Belgium, I've worked in Holland. Now then, they're human beings. They're flesh and blood. You touch them, it's just like touching an Englishman. They're not Belgians, Germans, Krauts, or anything like that. The path that we're going down now, I've looked at those pictures on television. Chairs being flown. And it's absolutely sickening me. I'm ashamed to be British. I really am, Tom.
Well, you hang on, you don't have to be, because it's not you that's doing it. Just like you have no right to be proud of anything that anybody else has done because they happen to come from the same country as you. Similarly, you have no reason to feel ashamed because another human being has done something and they happen to have the same passport that you do. So you don't need to feel ashamed to be British, because it's nothing to do with you.
Well, that's a very good analogy, Tom.
Thank you very much.
But can I just say this as well? I've been on football grounds all over the country. And I was born in 1948.
A very good year.
I saw Tom Finney, and people say to me, they say, oh, well, you wasn't old enough to appreciate Tom Finney. You was only 11 years old, you know, when he retired. Hey, Tommy, 11 years old, you know a bloody good one from a bad one.
Very wise, thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.